Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for your fearless leader.
You got it, dude.
Hey, oh, let's go.
All right.
And here we go.
Welcome back to the Here We Go podcast. I'm your host, Trent Ging. You all know Colin Phillips, and Bob Quinn is joining us tonight. How we doing, fellas?
Good.
Good. So, Jabril Peppers is a Pittsburgh Steeler. Looks like we're going to be missing Deshaun Elliott for, I'm guessing, at least a couple of weeks. Did you guys see any official timeline on this? Because I did not see any official timeline. I just saw he's going to miss multiple weeks.
They're hoping, the report is they're hoping it's the Ireland game, but realistically, even if he can play against the Vikings, I think it'd be smart to sit him out and wait until after the bye to bring him back.
Sure.
Yep.
And Jabril Peppers is, I mean, him even being released by the Patriots was kind of a interesting thing for me because, I mean, he's a good player. He's a solid player. He's not going to be an all-pro. But I know Colin's a big PFF guy. He does pretty well every single year in PFF. So if you follow PFF, do you have the grades up, Colin, by chance?
No, I can get him up. I know. I mean, yeah, he's got a really good PFF profile. So
The last 2 years, I do know he was graded over a 90.
Yeah, I think I saw 90.1, which I think he only played 6 games that year. And I thought the year before it was maybe an 84 point something. I could be wrong. But this isn't exactly a bench player that they brought in. I mean, let's just put it that way. So I think, to your point, if Elliott is a maybe to go, Peppers definitely gives you some flexibility to just go ahead and let him sit one more week, make sure he gets fully healthy. Did you get it pulled up, Colin?
Yeah. So 2024 defensive grade was 82.3. Run defense 74.7, coverage 81.7. Granted, he only played, I believe, 5 or 6 games. 2023 was his best year as a pro, in which he played every game, and 87.3 defensive grade, 90.7 run defense, 83.2 coverage. Pretty good numbers there. Let's see, tackling, he had 54. I'm going to go off with 2023 because it was his last full season, and it was only less than 2 years ago. 54 tackles, a little bit of a high missed tackle rate, didn't give up a single touchdown in coverage, had 2 picks, 5 passes defended. Here's what's interesting to me is that in his whole career, he has 1,760 snaps in the box, 1,800 in this free safety, so deep, but still 902 in the slot. So he's an extremely versatile player. And that's why when I saw the signing, I was like, okay, this is perfect. He can line up anywhere, be a Swiss Army knife. And what I was kind of thinking as well is if we wanted to get cute and go in dime package, we have Ramsey, obviously. But what we could do in dime package per se, Ramsey in the slot, Slay and Porter on the outside. The other slot would be Deshaun Elliott, and you could still have the versatility to put Peppers deep, or if you want to put Peppers in the slot, Elliott deep, vice versa. You really have the flexibility to do whatever. I really think if Peppers can work out, we have a really deep safety room, an extremely deep safety room.
Yeah, I agree with you. Chuck Clark's, I thought he played fairly well in relief, and Deshaun Elliott's, I mean, nothing spectacular, but I think he played okay. Thornhill, I mean, he didn't do anything spectacular in this game, but he also wasn't embarrassing in this game. So I know a lot of people were like really kind of wondering how that fit was going to work out. Throw Peppers into the mix with Elliott. I mean, that's 4 safeties that are very viable for this team.
And Ramsey fucking good.
We're definitely going to get to Jalen Ramsey here in a little bit because we need to talk at length about Jalen Ramsey. The other rumor that's been going around, Bob, you and I talked about this with boys on Steelers Sanctuary. Tyreek Hill, couple teams being thrown around right now. Pittsburgh is one of those teams. What are some thoughts about Tyreek Hill to the Steelers?
On the surface, it seems like a great idea. It really does. But the problem is that if you trade for him, and let's say you trade. I heard the Miami beat writer, who's like a Ed Bouchette type. He's a Hall of Fame guy, but he's still actively writing. And he was on the PM team this afternoon with Pony, and he was talking about it. He's like, this is a guy who you're going to pay 28 plus million to this year. And if you give up a day 2 draft pick, which he doesn't even think he'll fetch a day 2, he thinks it's the fourth best. But you've got to pay him $36 million next year. And he reiterated that last year when Miami in the second half, when it became apparent they weren't going to get the help to make the playoffs, and he just took himself out of the game and demanded a trade after the game and basically quit on the team. Kind of an Antonio Brown type of deal. This guy doesn't have the best reputation. So, yeah, I know Dave would love the idea. In a vacuum, I love the idea. I just can't see the Steelers paying Tyreek Hill $36 million when they're already paying DK $30 million. Although if they're willing to restructure Cam's contract to do it, I'm all for it.
There's always a goddamn Cam Hayward confidence. Colin, what are you thinking about the Tyreek Hill situation?
I don't really want much to do with it, to be honest. We have a lot of personalities on this team already. Some good, some bad, some in between. I don't think we need another personality, personally. I think say what you want about Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson, Ben Skoranek, Scotty Miller, that receiver room we had, but they did perfectly fine against a pretty good Jets secondary, pretty good Jets defense. And yeah, that's the thing with Tyreek Hill is there's too much legal shit going on. I don't want anything to do with any more legal issues. But again, this weapon room per se, does it not look good, fellas? I mean, we have the best tight end room in the sport. DK is what we paid him to do, a very good receiver. Oh, he had one drop the second drive. Who the fuck cares?
He had 2 drops. And really you could say 3 because he got lucky on that last catch.
PFF only charged him for 1.
I thought he had 2 when I could see being questionable, but I thought for a guy of his caliber, I would consider a drop on the second one. Now the one Bob's talking about, I thought it was deflected by Sauce before it got to his hands. I wouldn't personally consider that one a drop, but I mean that is what it is. I thought there was 2 in the game. The crosser was definitely 1. I mean the crossing pattern, that was definitely 1. I thought there was 1 other in the game too that I would have charted as a drop for a guy his caliber.
Again, he did everything we wanted him to do. He's doing what he's paid to do. I mean, his run after catch ability is so fun. I mean, he is a Mustang. He is a stallion running down that field. I mean, that first screenplay just juked a guy out. Before you knew it, he's 32 yards downfield. Oh shit, there goes DK, right? I mean, that's just kind of what he brings to the table. And I was kind of upset with the fact that he didn't get really any deep targets. Like Rodgers didn't just kind of let one loose, but we didn't have the protection to do that, frankly. And then Calvin Austin, a fucking stud. Like I said, a stud. We have Jonnu was good. Muth did what he needed him to do. I think that the weapons room or the pass catching room per se is beyond good enough. I don't think we need a Tyreek Hill.
I would agree that we don't necessarily need to, but I think we got to be careful about saying Calvin Austin is on the level of a Tyreek Hill. He's not. He played great.
He's not. But he does what we need him to do is what I'm trying to say. He does everything we need him to do. He's an adequate returner. He's an adequate, granted, do I think he's wide receiver 2? No. Is he an adequate wide receiver 3 on 32 NFL teams? Abso-fucking-lutely. I'm pretty sure Calvin Austin was our highest graded receiver and via PFF. Say what you want about him, but that's fair to say. So,
no, he there's no doubt he had a great game. I don't know what Trent thinks. We kind of went over this last night. I mean, I gave him tickets to the roller coaster because I thought he played really well. But at the same time, again, it's the money. Now, if you could make Miami eat that salary and guarantee that he'd restructure that contract, I think in a vacuum, if you're giving up a 4th round, you got to do it. Yeah, I mean, but you can't pay $36 million next year unless you're going into it eyes wide open, knowing that we're cutting him, we're not bringing him back. He's a vigilante for this year only. Okay, then maybe. I mean, it depends what Miami's willing to give up. If they're willing to say, fuck it, well, they might even be willing to do a Jared Goff and throw in a draft pick at this point.
If we could do that, that'd be amazing. And I'll say this, like, if you can get a 4th round pick for Tyreek Hill and restructure the contract, I'm definitely listening.
If we cut him in 2026, we lose $15.57 million in dead cap.
And they're never doing that. This organization has never given up that much dead cap. That's why you would have to do the restructure in order to bring a guy like Tyreek Hill in. And I think, honestly, Calvin Austin gives us a little bit of leverage now with this game that he had. And if he continues this type of play going forward, then he also gives us leverage in the trade negotiations, because now we look less desperate. I mean, everybody knows the Steelers are desperate for wide receiver. We've been in every freaking market for every goddamn wide receiver that's been rumored to be available. So, like, everyone knows we've had no leverage. That's why I was surprised DK came for a 2nd round pick instead of something more.
Right.
But, I mean, and Colin made a great point about DK Metcalf. When is the last time we've had some yak? Can you remember a guy? I mean, Pat Freiermuth, for Christ's sake, led the team 2 years ago, and Yak is a slow tight end. I like Pat, but I mean, he shouldn't be leading the team. He shouldn't be leading in Yak.
Careful on slow. Deontay Johnson that 2021 year was a great Yak receiver, but I hear you.
Yeah, you're 4 years removed.
Not even close. Not even close to DK though. Not even close.
Well,
not even close. And sorry.
I go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, and I know this is recency bias at its finest, which I think anybody who's ever talked to me knows I do not do the recency bias gimmick, but DK is probably also a better rack receiver than Antonio Brown. Just going to say it. He's probably also a better yak receiver than Antonio Brown. Now, was Antonio Brown a better separator, route runner, probably better hands? Yes. But given the circumstances...
It's a pretty big statement for a guy who's basically been just over or just under 1,000 yards his whole career. He had 1 year where he had 1,200 yards. He's deadly consistent. He's 900 to 1,050 yards every single year.
But he's also had a couple quarterbacks who they're not rack friendly or yak friendly quarterbacks. Like Russell Wilson, we saw last year, Bob. Was there any rack to be had? No. Yep. I mean, Geno Smith, I think Geno Smith is a very ethical quarterback in terms of how he spreads the ball. Frankly, I haven't watched enough on him to know whether or not he's a yak friendly quarterback, but he's no Mahomes, he's no Allen, he's no Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think DK is a very talented yak receiver, and I don't know if we've seen a lot of it yet because of the quarterbacks he's played with. But
yeah, well, I mean, the big, but then again, he could have had a lot of yak. That one crossing route that was the definite drop. I mean, he holds on to that ball right in his hands, and his whole career he drops the ball. He drops the ball more than Deontay Johnson. So get used to it. You got to take the good with the bad with DK. But that being said, yeah, that's the quarterback. Calvin Austin is going to get yards after catch. Pat Freiermuth is going to get yards after catch. Jonnu is a yak monster. But they're also got a quarterback who's going to put them in position. Ben Skoranek, took off in a wide open slot and ran 15 yards for a touchdown. Rodgers is going to fit the ball into places where they can run with it. They just got to hold on to it.
I think another thing to be said about that whole conversation too is the game planning has changed on offense. Arthur Smith is also putting these guys in position to get yak, to let Aaron deliver the football on time. They're still trying to get out of his hand quickly, especially with the struggling offensive line that we saw. I think Arthur Smith has definitely shown he is not only capable of adapting, but he is capable of really changing a lot of his playbook based on personnel, which there's a lot of coordinators in this league that don't like to do that.
Right.
They will a little bit, but not to the extreme I think Arthur Smith has done. I think it's impressive what he's done. I know a lot of people were down on him as a hire. He's
He called
growing
a
on
great
me.
game. He called a great game.
Phenomenal game. I said
He called a
yesterday
great game.
on the Steelers Sanctuary podcast, I said yesterday, I think out of everybody in black and gold, he may have had the best game.
Yeah.
As a play caller. He was phenomenal. Phenomenal as a play caller. I loved it.
And for the record, I did want to mention, Bob, DK does have a lower drop percentage than Deontay Johnson.
I don't know.
Drop
If you watch
drop
it,
per reception ratio, it is lower.
Deontay had one bad year of drops in his rookie year, and he really the rest of his career didn't have much of it. I think you got to look at it on a year-to-year basis. He drops. Look, it's always been his rap. It's been since his rookie year in Seattle. He's going to drop some balls. You just got to hope it's not at the key times of the game. And he made up for his drop the next play when he caught that screen pass and turned around and bolted. So as long as he does that, but I mean, it's 3 catches for 72 yards. That's why I said he's going to be all along. We're going to love having him. We're going to be very happy. But every week it's going to be 3 or 4 catches and 70 to 100 yards and occasionally a touchdown. So I think we're going to see him open up the field. And unlike George Pickens, he's going to be happy with that. He's going to be happy that you feed him and he draws triple teams and lets Calvin and Pat and Jonnu and everybody work underneath and get those catches. I'm sure they'll uncork a long one to him at some point, but you don't need to hit him for a long one. A 10-yard a 10-yard up and out can turn into 50 yards real quick.
Yep. And I think there's going to be multiple games this year when DK has 10, 11 catches. There was never that possibility with Pickens because Pickens wasn't versatile enough as a receiver. That's why I always question like Pickens' fanboy club because it's like this guy's never going to be like an alpha. Like you're never going to get 9 catches in a game out of Pickens, right? Did he ever have over 7 in a game, fellas? Do we know? Do we actually know if Pickens ever had more than 7 catches in a game? Because I've seen a game where DK had 17, right? It's like it's a whole discrepancy. And that's, again, DK, he's the type of player who can give you 17 or 4. I mean, hell, he had 4 catches for 83 yards. And how many of those yards would run after catch?
A lot of creating after the catch, for sure. I know
he had a ball that was -1 yards downfield that ended up being a 33-yard gain. So it's like that's a huge surplus. So, you know, I love what we have with him, and I love the one thing I will say though about Arthur Smith pertaining to that. I don't like how we use Jonnu Smith very much. I know it was kind of like a just make sure he gets the ball in his hands, but that can only go a certain level. The way that Jonnu Smith was kind of utilized there was a way that I would like to see like Roman Wilson or Calvin Austin being utilized, where it's like super quick throws all at or near the line of scrimmage. I think Jonnu Smith, you could work a little bit more downfield, especially because he's not a good blocker and he's a move tight end to a T. He's a modern tight end. So it's like, I would like to see him a little bit more downfield. And that also, I don't think it's sustainable that Aaron Rodgers only had a 5.0 average depth of target. That can't sustain. Now, I'll take it with a grain of salt because it's week 1 and the line was bad. And let's be perfectly clear, like I said, that Jets defense is very much upper echelon. I think we're all stupid to say. I know they gave up a bunch of points to us, but I think we're stupid to say on paper they're not top 10. So there's that as well. I just think that some of the offensive stuff wasn't sustainable, but overall, Arthur Smith did call a fantastic game.
So let me ask you guys this. We're obviously 1-0 now because we got the win. Does it feel like it?
Yes.
Feel pretty good about it?
1-0 will always feel like 1-0. Always feel like 1-0.
So John, go ahead, Bob. Sorry.
I was going to say it's especially for the fact that, like I said last night, we played as bad as I could. If you drew up how bad could the offensive line really be this year, you saw it. How bad could the defensive line be? You saw it. How bad could the linebackers be? You saw it. And we still won
Queen
the game.
played well.
Well,
very true.
Compared to Peyton Wilson. Compared to Peyton Wilson, yeah. I wouldn't say well, I would say he was the tallest dwarf. That defense was trash outside of Jalen Ramsey, and TJ had
Yeah.
a couple nice plays.
Yeah, TJ had I thought Highsmith had a pretty good game himself too. The
The
guys
edges
that we
played
the guys that
fairly
we
well.
pay, the guys that we paid had the best games, right? TJ,
Yeah.
Highsmith, Ramsey, Patty Q. Funny enough, 97 was fucking terrible.
Yeah, he was.
You're telling me when
I said
you're
that.
telling me when I told you guys that the 37-year-old wasn't going to play like a 28-year-old forever, that was true?
Well, in
Pump
fairness,
the brakes. It's one game, Colin. One game.
you won't hear me say this often because I've been so down on Cam Hayward. But in the fourth quarter, when it was really time to
Very true.
had to have a play, he did play his best football at the end of the game.
I thought the same with Patrick Queen, actually.
Yeah,
I think Queen got lost a couple of times behind some blocks. He got eaten up a lot by some blocks in the run game, but man, that dude was fucking close to not one, two interceptions, and Fields just made a phenomenal throw both times.
Those will
lasered
come.
the ball in there.
Those will come for Patrick Queen. Those will come. Like the fact that he is that, because that's a thing. Like the argument with Minka was not the fact that he wasn't making the plays. It's the fact that, dude, was he even close? Like, not really. Queen is right there, like right fucking there. I thought Darius Slay a few times was right there too. So those are two guys that I'm just not going to worry about after the week. We'll get into defense later, but
should we be worried about the trenches on both sides? Is it time to hit the panic button?
No. Nope.
It depends how they look against Seattle. Look,
I agree.
We're gonna find out about the interior of the line this week because they kind of caught a break against the Jets because the tackles were so bad. The strength of Seattle is the interior defensive line. We're gonna see how Isaac Sayamalu, and McCormick hold up this week. If they do, if they get the same kind of coming out of the Jets, not that they had a great game against the Jets, but if they come out with those similar grades, I think we're going to win this game in a walk. But that being said, I mean, things have to happen. I mean, Seattle played really good against San Francisco. Their defense played really good.
Better than I thought they'd be, honestly.
So here's kind of my opinion on the trenches. And I think everybody knows I'm not one to give people the benefit of the doubt most of the time. But this case, I really will, because the Jets have two very good trench units. Quinnen Williams is upper echelon on the planet defensive tackle. Will McDonald was the 15th overall pick and had 11 fucking sacks last year. Jermaine Johnson's a two-time Pro Bowler, so both of their edge rushers are studs. Notice how number 11 didn't get his name called very often. That's because Fautanu was blocking him the whole time. Now, we can have another conversation about Broderick Jones and Will McDonald. That's for another few moments. But I wanted to mention that I thought Fautanu did a wonderful job in pass protection against Jermaine Johnson, who, again, is a two-time Pro Bowler. Okay? You also have, I mentioned Quentin Williams, their defensive tackle, who's all-world. And then you go to the offensive line. Arvin Membu was a top 10 pick this year, 9th overall right tackle, and he had the highest grade out of any offensive lineman this week. He clearly a good player against TJ Watt, who still had a pretty solid game. So is it more of Watt struggled or more of there was a stud on the right tackle side? We'll see next week. Now, left tackle Olu Fashanu was the 13th overall pick last year. Stud from Penn State, was my offensive tackle number 1 in last year's class. You got Joe Tippmann, who's a stud at right guard, John Simpson, who's PFF's 7th best guard last year, and then a fill-in at center who was the Packers starter for 4 years. Clearly a pretty good offensive line unit the Packers have had for the last decade and a half. So that's kind of my defense to the trenches on our team. Now, are we concerned about Keanu Benton? Of course. Are we concerned about Harmon not being there and whoever the hell's backing him up probably sucks? Yes. But I don't think we're going to see a trench unit for another long time this year, probably until Buffalo and or Baltimore, right? Because Seattle's kind of the opposite, fellas. Seattle's defense is my back end is going to fly around. My front seven is pretty average. And frankly, I'm not all that impressed with Seattle's offensive line. San Fran's defensive line is very, 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 very top heavy, meaning their only good player is number 97, who's a defensive player of the year. So giving Seattle the benefit of the doubt against San Francisco's trenches doesn't really do that much for me. So, I mean, again, like Bob said, we'll see next week, but I'm going to give the trenches a benefit of the doubt for those reasons I mentioned.
Yeah, this is a good question from Greg on Benton. This is the height of stupidity. Benton should be an end. Benton
it's the definition of It's the definition of insanity, fellas. I mean, how many more years are we see Benton playing out of position, getting shit on in the run game, and just say, "Yeah, no, I'm not very concerned. I'm not very concerned." Like, I get it. There's like 4 good centers in the NFL, so Benton's probably going to be facing dweebs a lot of the year. But still, it's like we can't be sitting there watching him just get eaten alive by double teams and say, "Yeah, no, I'm not really concerned." Because you know what Benton getting eaten by double teams does, fellas? It totally fucks up the rhythm of the linebackers. It totally fucks up the rhythm of the third level, the back end safeties.
Agreed.
We're lucky. We're lucky that Minka's the best run defending safety of this generation for all those times, because we haven't had a good nose tackle with Minka. So I'm just like, we blame the linebackers so much, but it's like their whole rhythm gets thrown off when Benton and Ogunjobi last year are just getting eaten alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
But the linebackers also had plenty of opportunity, though. When
I get it.
There was a couple of times when Black had the hole where it was just, okay, I'm eating 2 blocks. There's a hole. Where's my fucking linebacker to unblock to fill this hole, because you don't have anybody on him, and Peyton Wilson is running into a block instead of filling the hole. You know, and why it was, I thought the press conference today, somebody asked Tomlin, why didn't Holcomb play? Well, we're trying to win the game. Your third best linebacker doesn't fucking play? You're playing Malik Harrison? Is Holcomb hurt or something? Because he sure didn't look hurt in the preseason. Holcomb knows how to fill a hole. I love Peyton Wilson, but if he's going to play like that, you have got to put your next best option in the game, and that's Holcomb.
I think the whole Keanu Benton thing is just dumbfounding to me, because anybody with a brain can see this dude just has no fucking business being on the nose. He has no business being there. And then you've got this 336-pound fucking stud rookie who's damn near immovable, although he got moved around a little more than I thought he was going to in this game. But like,
that Jets interior is really good, Trent. That Jets interior is really good.
But I would still ride with a rookie, because that's called rookie mistakes. That's things where translation of the game from college to the pros hit him really, really hard in this game. He can learn and grow from that. Keanu Benton is who Keanu Benton's going to be. If anybody's ever seen this dude's tape, this is not fucking changed. From his rookie year till now, it's the same shit. He gets blown off the ball. He's doing swim moves over top of a fucking center in the run game and leaving the hole wide the fuck open where they're trying to go. He did it 4 times in the game that I saw, and I didn't make it past halftime in the goddamn All-22 yet. 4 times I charted the same thing. Brees Hall went right where he was just swimming over top of the center. 4 times. I'm like, how many more times are you going to do this before you realize anchor down and just stand there? You don't have to make a play in the run game as a nose tackle.
Yeah,
like, that's not your job.
And no, Harrison, what the times I saw him in the game, he was in the middle, especially down the goal line. He was.
I didn't see Harrison play a single edge snap.
I didn't either. Yeah. I'd be interested to see if anybody charted one, because I sure did not see it personally.
One, and also my one rebuttal to whatever Bob had said: Peyton Wilson's just too damn good. He flies around too much, and he's too damn good of a coverage backer to not have him in the game. And again, you're not gonna take Queen out because he's the green dot, but it's like there's really, and that's why I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I said it for a couple years now. Why are we carrying Holcomb's $7.5 million? There's no room for him, fellas. There's none. There's no room for Cole Holcomb on this team. Peyton Wilson was a top, 15-ish linebacker last year, and Patrick Queen gets $13 million a year. There's just no room for Cole Holcomb on this team. because you're not going to take Wilson out. He's too good of a coverage backer. And you're not going to take Queen out because he's the green dot and he gets paid $13 million a year to play fucking every single snap. There's just no room for Holcomb.
As good a coverage linebacker as he is, if he plays like that against the run, he almost has to become the dime backer, because that's just in base. He was not there time after time after time. And I'm a huge Peyton Wilson fan, but bottom line is he's an undersized linebacker. And if he doesn't play with his head, he's not going to overpower offensive linemen. He's got to play with his head and hit the hole. He should be a missile in that hole who drives people back. And if he's lost about what to do, and Trent made a good point about the zone read, if he's lost about what to do, Holcomb is a C-ball hit ball. And he was playing top-level football 2 years ago. He was by far our best linebacker.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a very different duo in that linebacker room come this week against Seattle, because the Justin Fields threat's not there anymore. And these two are going to run a lot better. But I'll say this, who would have looked a lot fucking better in this game? Landon Roberts. This is a game where we missed Landon Roberts. That, Breece Hall going up the middle shit, Roberts would have shut that down, because he would not have waited. He wouldn't have cared what the fucking fake was, what the zone read was. He was going to go blow up an offensive lineman somewhere. We saw it too many times on tape last year. He just attacked the offensive line. And it throws off the rhythm of an offense when you do those things. And that's the difference between a thumper and a speed linebacker is those guys are looking for the hole. They're trying to track the ball down to where it's going, cut the angles. Roberts didn't do all that. He just went straight ahead like a fucking missile and blew up whatever he could blow up. He would have been the guy. That's why I was so confused in the offseason. That still, to me, is the one Omar Khan mistake outside of the Ayuk saga. He should have cut Holcomb, should have kept Roberts around. You needed that difference as a linebacker. Holcomb's too much of the same. Yeah, and John. I didn't even see John's comment, but John, dude, I'm right with you, man. I'm right with you.
Yeah, but to your point, to your guys' point, like we played nickel, so we got absolutely gashed, and whatever Tomlin, Austin, whoever decides what personnel we're in. Guys, we still ran nickel. We were still in the nickel for 72% of the game. We should have been in base 25% of that. We were just in nickel too damn much.
The problem was they were getting crushed in base. So they went to the nickel to try something different.
We were getting crushed in both.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the bottom line. We were getting crushed in both. So when it's only Benton and Hayward who are the only two D linemen on the field, and nickel, again, 72% of times, great. Well, now what? You certainly aren't going to get a push up front on the defensive side, because Benton ain't going to give you a push, and Cameron Hayward can only occupy 1 to 2 guys. So you got 4 offensive linemen climbing up to the second level like a snap of a finger, and here goes Breece Hall for 14 yards. So I get what you're saying, Bob, and I completely agree. We got gashed too much in base, but I promise you right now, the solution to that was not going in nickel 70+% of the time.
At least it gets Benton off the nose, and that's the only bright spot of it. Is it gets Benton into more of a between the guard and tackle, and there's a better chance he won't get washed out there. But that you let the center run free into your linebacker that way, and it's not a great way to play. I hate that the way they play the nickel. Bottom line is, and I said this last night, and I'll say it again: black on the nose, Harbin plays the other end, and then Hayward and Benton can rotate on the other end. 65-35, Cam plays most, but rotate Benton in. That should be the line. That should be the line. Isaiah Loudermilk should get fucking cut right now. Why he was even on the nose, I don't even get it. I mean, what on what planet did you think Isaiah Loudermilk could outplay Y.A. Black on the nose?
He was bad. He was very bad. You know what? Equale was actually not that bad. I thought he played fairly well. I was a little confused. He was on the third down He was in third down a couple times where it's like 3rd and 7 plus. I'm like, what the fuck? This dude's never given pass rush. But like, I mean, in the run game, I thought he was fine. Like he stood his ground. He held he held up a couple guys, and he was much better than Benton. Much better than Benton. But that's not a high bar.
So I think what we're looking at right now, fellas, like with the rotation of that defensive line. So Loudermilk's playing so we played 64 total snaps on defense. Loudermilk played 31. Hayward played 43. Benton played 47. Ekwale played 12. And yes, you're right. Ekwale was the best out of the deal. But I think what Wyatt Black played 24. So that's a 5-man rotation, and we're missing Harmon. So Loudermilk's immediately gone from that rotation when Harmon gets back, because Harmon can probably play some of the nose. I don't imagine they're going to have Ekwale playing any nose. So that could be the reason. Or I'm sorry. Ekwale probably can't play any nose. So I'm thinking that's where Loudermilk got a lot of his snaps, was rotating in for Benton at nose.
Ekwale was playing the nose. He was brought really? Here. He was coming in. He played. I saw him in that cockeye formation a couple of times, and I saw him kind of in the one technique. I feel like probably 4 more times. I feel like half his snaps he was on the nose, at least half his snaps. A couple of them were, they were, like I said, more third down situations. You're not necessarily playing the A gap. I think he was over top of the guard. I'm just going off the top of my head here. Probably twice straight up on the guard. Once I think he was in the 4-eye. Those are just what I can kind of remember off the top of my head here.
I think it would be a huge mistake to play Harmon on the nose. I mean, that guy's a way better end. I
agree.
He's probably a better nose than Benton, but they should not try to cure the Benton problem by playing Harmon, your first-round draft pick, out of position. You got the guy. Play him. Even if you're only going to play base, 30% of the game, it better be fucking YA Black out there in the base. I mean, it only makes sense, which means it probably won't happen. But that being said, it only makes sense.
Maybe the most curious thing about this organization is that they're so dead set that Black's an end, but yet we're so comfortable playing damn near everybody else on the roster out of position. So you can't move this guy to nose guard just for a little bit? Like, you can't play him on the nose for a little bit, like a year, until you draft another guy next year?
Loudermilk only played 1 snap in the A gap, Trent. He played 17 at B gap, so he was rotating in for Hayward and whomever technically got the start there. He only played he only had 1 A gap alignment snap. So okay. I don't know. And that's what I'm trying to investigate right now. I'm trying to figure out the formula in which they rotated these guys, because obviously we know our starters. I'm trying to figure out, like, you know what I'm saying, like where these guys were aligning specifically. Wyatt Black had 4 A gap, 11 B gap. He had 9 fucking snaps over the tackle. What the fuck? What is that? Anyway, you guys carry on. I'm just looking into this right now.
I just wanted to say one thing. I saw John made a comment earlier about the offense. They'll figure it out. Like, first of all, it wasn't hard to figure out the Russell Wilson offense. It's a one-trick fucking pony. They already figured it out. Washington did it. It's throw it deep or get sacked.
Check it down.
Aaron Rodgers is not. You saw all the stuff that should be happening, all the bells and whistles. He was finding guys in the middle of the field on the run. That's the difference. Aaron Rodgers, they're not going to figure him out, because just when they think they do, he's going to do something else.
We've talked a lot about the defense so far. Let's switch to the offense. Is Aaron all the way back? I mean, you guys feel really good about what we saw from Aaron Rodgers on Sunday, because I felt fucking fantastic about what I saw from Aaron Rodgers. I know that like the analytics, like the 5 yards. Listen, he didn't have a lot of time to throw, and he made the best out of every fucking second he had back there.
Of course, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a fucking passing chart that I see on Next Gen Stats. Trent, why do you like this Next Gen Stats shit so much?
I enjoy it, buddy.
I don't even
I enjoy
see
it.
Rodgers.
It was definitely. I mean, if you remember back the last couple of years, the Russell Wilson, Kenny Pickett, whoever the fuck was playing, it's all to the sideline or go balls. There was, I mean, the pass over the middle to Pat, the crossers to DK, the both touchdown passes. I mean, everything is going around there. And the best part about him is, and I don't think we can. Pro Football Focus was on the Pony Show this afternoon, and the guy was a fucking moron. He was a fucking moron. He was trying to explain how Cam Ward, who completed 40% of his passes, but it wasn't his fault. It was the receivers who dropped the ball. But he played a better game than Aaron Rodgers, who had 4 touchdowns and only had 5 incompletions. It was fucking moronic. Okay, look, you want to say Josh Allen was better? Of course, Josh Allen was better. Lamar had a better game.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford, they scored 14 fucking points. I don't even get it. I don't understand. I mean, they devalue every time you think they have a point. They come out with something stupid like this.
So the one thing that, and I think this is the most accurate thing for me to say as someone who pretty much lives and dies by PFF, and I asked to hear me out here. The PFF grading system matters for everything but quarterbacks. The problem is with the quarterbacks is that there's more of an underlying truth that they look for as opposed to what the numbers tell you. Because I don't know if you guys know anything about RBSDM. RBSDM is like my favorite way, or a very metric-based way to like completion percentage above expected, EPA per play, shit like that. That is my favorite way of doing it. And Rodgers was 10th in the league, which is totally accurate. Totally fair. Lamar, Allen, Jordan Love, I think Stafford, maybe, we're all above him. But certain things like that. So that's kind of what I look at there. And because PFF, the 2 things that they track most are big time throws and turnover worthy plays and pressure to sack percentage. Now, the one thing that I asked you to be objective about was the fact that he was terrible with pressure. He got pressured 9 times, got sacked 4 of those. That's a 44.4% pressure to sack percentage, which is fucking terrible. But that's what we expected. That's what we expected this year.
He's 41 years old. Yeah, he's not going to run away from it. We know that. Yeah.
And that's what we expected.
And 2 of those sacks, he had no chance. The one play action where he play action looked up and he was sacked, that's not his fault. He can't do anything about that.
There were a couple that he held on the ball for too long, but I agree. There was 2 specific ones that was like, dude, this isn't even fair.
all you need to know is this moron from PFF said that if Spencer Rattler had been in the Pittsburgh game, he would have had the same stats. That's all you got to know.
Who was
that guy's a fucking idiot. John something or other from PFF. When he said the Spencer Rattler comment, Pony was like, well, thanks for joining the show. Have a good day. That's beyond stupid.
We're propping Spencer Rattler up. No, I love it.
Yeah, when you said a 26th best quarterback, they graded Russell Wilson the same grade.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
That's absurd. I think Aaron, he did exactly what I expected him to do in this game, honestly. He got the ball out of his hand on time the majority of the game. You know, there was a couple of throws behind he and DK. DK had a crossing route where he came across the face of, I think it was Sauce Gardner on a slant route. Aaron hits him in stride. DK's running for a long time. He clearly beat Sauce, but the ball's behind him. Sauce doesn't play on the ball. He threw one high and behind DK on an out route, I think it was, if I remember correctly. He missed a couple throws, but not very much. I mean, he basically got the ball out inaccurately and on time and found the right guys.
It wasn't a perfect game, but it was high-level quarterback play. It was, and you know, they didn't give him credit. They were like, well, does he get credit for the fact that on the play action fake where he pointed at Austin and Skoranek and got the same safety to hold and think that was the lead block and they were running the football. They were like, do you get any credit for that? No, that doesn't count for a quarterback. Okay, sure. That's not part of quarterback play, is to fool the defense. I mean, come on. I mean, I get it.
I think that would be where this charting system comes in. I do. And again, I do rest my case by saying the one stat that I never look at for PFF is quarterbacks, because it's like,
Yeah.
it's so hard to sit there, because it's like, are you really gonna tell me that, like, they have like Jordan Love is like the 13th best quarterback this week? Are you fucking kidding me? Did you watch that Packers game? He was dicing, right? And that's just one example. That's the one thing that I will say. I like this personally, but teach their own.
Well,
But yeah,
I mean, I would say
that Rattler comment is ridiculous.
yeah, that Brock Purdy up there in the third. I mean, I watched most of that San Francisco game. Brock Purdy was awful. He had a couple of good moments, but he had some really bad interceptions.
Should we be panicked about Broderick Jones? Do we want to get into the Broderick Jones debate right now?
I don't think we should panic until week 4. He's got to look better this week.
Colin's on board.
Yeah, I mean, I've said the same thing for 2 years now, Trent. I don't judge anything till after September. I don't make any judgments till after September. Now, are we allowed to be cautiously optimistic or optimistically concerned? Yes. But for now, I don't necessarily have too much. And again, Will McDonald's a good edge, a really good edge. I mean, that, and again, a lot of teams have a really good edge over the left tackle. Am I a little nervous for the Browns? Absolutely. But I think take this as you will. And Trent, I know you've watched the All-22 and I haven't. Take this as you will. He still has improved from last year. Not by much, but he has improved.
I'll be honest with you. As quick as Aaron was getting the ball out of his hands, I think it bailed Broderick out from maybe another 3 sacks.
I think Aaron's smart enough to do that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, of course. But that makes me start to question, like, we see the potential of this offense and what Aaron can do when he has a little bit of time. What happens in Cleveland now? Will we even have time to throw the football ever?
Well,
I'm not. Are we going to be living on the checkdowns where we can start seeing teams play like they did against Kenny Pickett, where you run 8, DBs in the fucking box on pass situations? Like, because we know we don't have time to throw it. Like,
well, Rodgers also.
I'm a little concerned.
Pickett. Come on. You can't.
I'm not talking about Aaron. I'm just saying the defenses are going to adjust, because why do you need to play too deep against DK Metcalf when we don't have enough time to get DK Metcalf deep? I mean, Broderick's getting beat quick and in a hurry.
You start covering Metcalf one-on-one, he doesn't need to get 20 yards down the field. He needs to get 7 to 10, and then he can lead him with that little go ball there, and Metcalf can take that to the house.
Yeah.
You can't play DK Metcalf one-on-one. If somebody goes cover 1 against Rodgers, and yes, he wasn't great against the blitz last year. He wasn't necessarily great in this game. He was better than he was last year, but he still completes over 60% of his passes. And if you're dumb enough to play DK Metcalf and 0 blitz one-on-one, I'm sorry, there's not a corner on our schedule. We played the corner on our schedule that I would be most afraid of in that one-on-one coverage.
Yep, all day long. All day long. And we played also probably the best front 7 on our schedule. I mean, I'll go through it after this and kind of get a better idea.
Minnesota's front 7 is for real. If you watch that game last night.
I did.
Minnesota's front 7 is really good.
But also that's a Brian Flores thing too.
Yeah.
It's also Brian Flores because he's a magician. Brian Flores is actually one of the best I've ever seen. I mean, the Jets are just like on paper per se is the best we'll probably see all year. I could, top of my head, probably, I don't even want to say the Chargers. I mean, is that, fellas, the best front 7 we'll see all year on paper?
No.
Oh, Green Bay.
Green Bay will be, Micah Parsons added to the mix, especially.
Yeah, Green Bay. The one thing I liked about Parsons or Green Bay is they were putting Parsons on the right side over Sewell.
Yeah. And for the most part, Sewell controlled him. I mean, he really only had that sack
I
late in the game.
I thought he held his own. Well, actually, that sack was Micah Parsons coming from the left side.
It was the left side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any concerns? Any concerns with John's question here? Durability with Aaron?
No, I don't concern.
I also he's smart enough to adjust to. I think.
Yeah.
I think those back to because 2 of those play action fakes. I think he now knows. Hey, look, guys. If it's a 5-second development, we ain't got that kind of time. It needs to be 3 steps and go. Or if we're gonna do that play action fake, it's got to be I can't have my back to the defense for more than a second because it's just not feasible. Now, that being said, if they come out and run that against Seattle and all of a sudden he does have more time because the edges aren't as good, now you build a little bit of confidence and try. Furtado didn't have a great game either. He played better than Broderick, but he didn't have a great game. If you build some confidence the next 2 weeks and then go into that Minnesota game and they play well there, then I think coming out of the bye now, I think, and first of all, the plan for Cleveland ought to be Mount Washington stands next to Broderick, and Miles, you want to go rush from the other side. And if he starts beating Furtado like a drum, okay, Jalen, kill him. Chip him, kill him, do what you got to do, and let it. Aaron's good enough to have 3 or 4 in the pattern and still find somebody.
I agree.
I think you're underrating Fautani. I thought Fautani played a nice game. He had a tough time in the run game, but pass blocking, I thought he beyond held his own. I mean, Trent, am I off to say that?
He had a couple moments, but I thought he was okay. He was okay. He wasn't great. He wasn't good. I thought he was.
Didn't give up any pressures.
He got beat by Johnson. Jermaine Johnson got that. He got the sack on the spin move. He hit him with a spin move, and Fautani
was he charted with the pressure?
He should have. He definitely gave up a sack. I mean, it was a one-on-one situation. Johnson hit him quick with a spin. Fautani's hands fell off, and there was nothing he could do at that point.
Jermaine Johnson didn't have a sack. He had a hit, 2 hurries, 1 tackle. Will McDonald had 2 sacks. Quinton Williams had a sack. Quincy Williams had a sack.
Did Aaron get rid of the ball on that play? I was thinking he got sacked on that.
I think he did. That was the one where he threw it up and out of bounds.
Okay. Maybe that was the pressure then. Okay, I was thinking he got sacked on that one, but I specifically remember the spin because I watched it 3 times on the All-22 because I was like, honestly, it was just a great move by a defensive player. A lot of guys got beat. Yeah, a lot of tackles are going to get beat on that move because he hit him quick and hard with that spin.
Well, even Tomlin said at his press conference today, take it with a grain of salt, because they asked him, "Are you concerned? Are you concerned about Broderick?" And he was like, "No, I'm not overly concerned. You know, they had pressure, and he was a component of it." And then they asked, "What about compared to Furtado?" And he's like, "I thought they both had moments where they were good, and I thought they both had moments where they were bad." And if you watch the tape, look, bottom line is the offensive line wasn't good as a whole. So it's hard to come out and say anybody played great. I mean, Frazier had a great run blocking grade, but he had a shitty pass blocking grade. So
I don't even get that one because I'm going to go back and watch that one specifically.
No, Frazier had our best pass blocking grade.
I thought Frazier played pretty damn well all around, to be honest with you. There was not a lot of push in the run game by anybody, but I thought he played well.
Past week was my knock on Frazier this past week is the run. I thought he had a great game. Great game in pass protection.
I mean, honestly, they can only go up. I mean, like I said earlier, I don't think they can play worse. And we won. And it wasn't just we won a 7-6 game. We put up 34 points. The offense looked really good. You give them a little protection this week, and now all of a sudden, and this is why I think this team is special. That if we start bad, if this is the floor, nowhere to go but up. by midseason, they could be pretty good. And if they can just
Mhm.
be slightly above average, this is going to be a really good fucking team.
I mean, I hope that we build off of this, and I hope this is the floor. I think one thing is for sure. You're right. We put up 34 points. It wasn't like Boswell had 18 of the fucking points in this game. You know, he definitely still won it. Like, you hit a 60-yarder at the end of the game. You definitely won it, buddy. But like, we didn't rely on Boz for points like we did last year in Atlanta in week 1. I mean, Boz was the entire offense, right? We didn't have that this game, so there is definitely something to look forward to there. I think Jalen Ramsey, Colin brought him up right at the beginning of this thing. Jalen Ramsey was the best fucking player on defense. And I don't think it was particularly close.
Oh,
What do you guys think?
I've been saying all along I would have put the C on him. He's the guy we need. He's the bully. The Steelers are not good on defense unless they have a bully. And Jalen Ramsey is a bully. That's the player we've been missing for 10 plus years. That was since the height of James Harrison. Even the latter stages of James Harrison when he was downhill, it just wasn't the same. When we have a bully who's the best player on the defense, we are dangerous.
Best player on the defense is wild.
Did you not think he was the best player on the defense yesterday or Sunday?
Sunday, yes. Totality, no.
I think Sunday he was the best player on defense for
Sunday,
sure.
yes. Sunday, absolutely.
And he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, you could say, hey, TJ is a great edge rusher, and he is. Jalen Ramsey's a great cornerback. Those 5 guys are both going to go to Canton.
Yeah. I think it was I can't remember, Bob, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but we had that group chat going, and I'm pretty sure I said within the first quarter they needed to lock Ramsey up on Garrett Wilson, and he would shut that fucker down the rest of the game. And that they did it later. It wasn't in the first quarter. They did it later in that second quarter, and that was it. Garrett Wilson was basically fucking done for the game after that. He caught that one out route.
Yeah, and once he got in his head and he started getting Wilson really jacked up, like, I'm going to fight you, I'm going to do all this. That's what Jalen Ramsey does. I watched him in Jacksonville for years. I've seen him with the Rams. This guy is a next level. He's an in-your-face. And unlike what Dave thinks he's out of control, he's not out of control. It's how he plays. He will get under people's skin and he will force them into mistakes.
Yeah. I thought, listen, I'm going to say, I think Jalen Ramsey is still that guy.
Yeah.
Like, Garrett Wilson's a fucking damn good route runner. And if you're able to shut that guy down, he's going to match up really, really well against pretty much anybody. And I'm going to be fucking sitting lined up waiting for the Cincinnati game because I want him one-on-one with Jamar Chase more than I want fucking anything else this season. That's going to be an absolute show between those two guys.
Although, historically, though, that's not a good matchup for Ramsey.
I know. But I just want to see those two where he's playing free. This is the most free Jalen's gotten to play too.
Yeah.
Let him play free. Let him lock up one-on-one. You've got a couple of guys you feel good about outside, although I did think that Slay had a rough start in Sunday's game. I didn't think he was great. But man, Jalen Ramsey still looks like he's got it.
Well, a lot's going to be expected of Slay and Joey Porter now because they've got to, if you do break glass in case of somebody's having a game and you say, okay, Jalen, go shut him down, then Slay and Porter have really got to step up. That being said, I thought Slay was pretty good. He wasn't great. That one crossing route, I said it before. I'll say it again. If you give any NFL quarterback time and you let the deep cross go, every receiver is going to beat every cornerback on that route every single time. If you got 5 seconds to throw that, it's going to get caught.
Well, and I watched the play back on that. There was the other deep crosser on the other side against Porter was wide open too. So it was literally pick your poison.
Mm-hmm.
It literally was a pick your poison type play. So there's not much we could have done there other than, I don't know, maybe one of them being covered. But and also maybe getting a little bit of pressure. But again, that Jets O-line's really good. And I did want to give them a lot of credit for that.
That's the issue. You nailed it. The pressure. That's how you stop that play.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this question? Bring Peppers into the mix. How does he change things?
He's a practice squad guy right now. I don't know exactly what they're gonna do. It's weird that New England kind of abruptly released him. He might not have been a scheme fit there, which would make sense. That would make a lot of sense.
That was what the organization said, was the reasoning.
I think I agree. After watching that New England Raiders game, I kind of agree. Like Jabril Peppers wouldn't fit. Like that new Jaron Hawkins kid was a monster, and Kyle Duggar's already a monster. So I think I agree with that. And
I'm pretty sure Vrabel's the one who actually said that. I think Vrabel actually came out and said he's not a defensive scheme fit. He doesn't fit what we want to do moving forward.
And to your guys' point about the chase, and when eventually we do face Jefferson, and we'll see plenty of really good ones this year. I think the best play would be to take out the 2 with Slay, right? So in this case, Higgins with Slay, and then Chase should be Joey Porter Jr. and somebody clouding over the top. Bracket him. No matter what, you're going to give up 2 or 3 catches. But I say you bracket him with Joey Porter Jr. I mean, let's not underestimate Joey Porter Jr. still can press a motherfucker at the line of scrimmage, and then you just cloud him over top. And that's kind of, again, you have a pick or poison. I mean, hell, if you want to throw Elliott over the top, if you want to put Peppers, if you want to put Clark, if you want to put Thornhill, you can kind of do your own thing. Let Jalen Ramsey roam and kind of just look at Darius Slay and be like, hey, take out their Robin so we can kill their Batman. That's how I'd play it.
Yeah,
I would put Ramsey on Higgins. He wants to goon it up. Let him play another physical big corner, and then let Joey and I don't love Slay and Chase. I don't think you play Chase one-on-one if you could avoid it. Even with Ramsey, I put Ramsey on Higgins and say, okay, Chase beat us, but you're going to beat 2 guys. So I'd even consider playing Porter and Slay on him and let Higgins go Ramsey, and then just take your chances that Gesicki can't beat you.
I think the one thing Peppers does is something that it seems like this team wants to do. They've been looking to find guys to do this. We just haven't had the right players, but you can tell that they want to start disguising coverages more and more, and they're looking for more versatile pieces. That's why Jalen Ramsey is here. That's why Minka Fitzpatrick got traded, quite frankly. I think in large part it made the package work to bring in Jonnu and Jalen Ramsey, but at the same token, I think they want to be as versatile with as many pieces as possible. And Peppers he's been that since college. He's another
defense.
He's another guy who can come in and he can play 3 positions pretty easily. You got Chuck Clark. He plays 2 positions, pretty easily. Juan Thornhill's played a few positions pretty easily. You can see they're looking for an archetype in that back end. Peppers is just, I mean, he's a glove fit, in my opinion, for the way they want to run this defense. You can do whatever you want with a guy like that.
He's certainly a competent fill-in for Elliott while Elliott's out. So until he gets back, I still think Elliott's the every down guy.
I think Peppers instantly becomes your starter opposite of Juan Thornhill at this point. I mean, Chuck Clark, like I said, he did okay. Nothing special. He made a couple plays around the line of scrimmage. But Peppers is a perfect fit for that. Clark's more of a free safety than he is a box safety. Peppers is a box safety in most of the traditional, sense of the word. Mm-hmm. So
he's a hitter. That's always a nice thing to have.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the run game? We want to save that for next time. Then just hope it gets better between now and next week.
We'll talk.
All right.
We'll talk.
Can anybody, and I mean fucking anybody, the chat, you're welcome to throw in here because I'm completely dumbfounded. Anybody explain to me why the fuck Kenneth Gainwell led the running backs in snaps this week? Because I have no clue. Why'd you pay Jalen Warren to play Kenneth fucking Gainwell?
I'm almost wondering if they checked if Aaron some of those checkouts were to run plays.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you could see. I mean, the thing is with Gainwell and Warren, and I know the Warren truthers are going to kill me for it, even though I've been saying it for years. He's just not all that versatile from the perspective of things he does really well. I think Gainwell can be a good runner, and he can also be a really good receiver. And I'm not saying Warren's necessarily a bad receiver, but Gainwell is a Rodgers running back. He is closer to a Aaron Jones, right? He's closer to a Ryan Grant. Now, Warren might be a little bit closer to an Amon Green, but Amon Green was so early in Rodgers' career that he wasn't even used to it. How about Jamal Williams? Who's closer to that? Probably Gainwell. Like, I feel like Gainwell is kind of a lot closer to what Rodgers is used to. I mean, even his 2 years with Breece Hall. Who's closer to Breece Hall? Jalen fucking Warren or Kenneth Gainwell, right? So I think that's the only reasoning for that. And I don't know why y'all are yip-yapping, dipshitting about fucking Kenneth Gainwell. Both of our running backs are fucking terrible. Why did Caleb Johnson only get 2 snaps?
Because he fumbled the ball on the kickoff.
Yeah, it was
I
him with
hear
the
ya.
ball though.
And I do think Caleb Johnson's kind of at the point where he's just not ready. But
He better get ready.
I think you guys are rinky-dinking about the wrong 2 5'8" running backs. I think you guys are rinky-dinking about and the whole fan base is talking about the wrong guys. I mean, who the fuck cares if Gainwell has 3 more snaps than Jalen Warren? I want the 3rd-round pick that fits Arthur Smith's system like a glove to play.
So do I.
Right?
I've been pounding the drum of. I thought he should have been day 1 starter anyway. I don't care if he can fucking pick up the goddamn blitz. He's a better runner than these 2 dipshits were yesterday or Sunday.
Yeah. No, well, Warren was the most effective runner when they came out in the second half and let him let loose a little bit and let him carry the ball. Warren,
but not by
effective.
a lot, Bob. He wasn't that much more effective. To the point where it matters.
The only run Caleb Johnson had was they tried that little outside end.
No, I'm saying I was saying Warren versus Gainwell.
My man Sid.
He loves getting on you about Anthony Richardson.
This must be Anthony Richardson's agent. You know, honestly, he could be a good running back. He could be.
Anthony Richardson's terrible.
As a running back, though, I mean,
horrible.
I could see it. He's fast.
I could see a tight end.
He's a big bruiser. I would love to see it. I mean, he could be a Derrick Henry-ish.
He gets hurt a lot, though. He gets hurt a lot though as a quarterback.
Yeah, as long as you don't ask him to throw the fucking ball. I mean, let him play everywhere. I mean, we were kidding last night with Sid about him playing tackle. You know, I'm all for it. Why not?
Listen, I'm gonna take this back to the running back situation. Kenneth Gainwell's got fucking horrible vision. I mean, horrible vision. He had 2 wide open cutback lanes that he missed that would have been 10-yard gains. He should not touch the ball again, ever, unless it's in the pass game. Jalen Warren, I've been saying all along, that dude is not an RB1 in this league. He showed he wasn't an RB1, in my opinion, on Sunday. He's not even a good fit, in my opinion. He's not a good fit for the Arthur Smith scheme. You got the guy in the backfield. I don't fucking care if he struggles to pick up a blitz because, in case you were wondering, Kenneth Gainwell, who's this phenomenal blocker, got Aaron Rodgers absolutely fucking killed on Sunday.
And Kenneth Gainwell is not the best pass protector on the roster.
And that was Quincy
Warren
Williams. That was the Quincy Williams sack, I believe, that you thought was Fautanu. Was when he got murdered.
No, I remember that sack. You'll see which one I'm talking about. I for some reason I was in my head that you'll see the spin move when you watch the L22. You'll know which one I'm talking about. I just thought I didn't realize he got rid of it. But listen, Caleb Johnson needs to learn by playing the fucking game. You can't have him sitting on the sideline and have him learn how to do this. Kenneth Gainwell's not the guy. He was a fucking situational guy for Philadelphia. And let's be honest, You could throw Colin Phillips in the mix in Philadelphia, and he's going to pick up fucking 5 yards of carry because that offensive line doesn't let you get touched until you're 5 yards downfield. It's just the offensive line he played behind. We don't have that offensive line. We just don't.
And this offensive line isn't built to run block.
No. Caleb Johnson is a guy who can make something happen out of nothing better than these other two. I just think it's a mistake not to play the kid.
A big problem is that they very consistently run to Sayamalu and Broderick's side. They really need to flip that and run to McCormick, who I think is our best run blocker, and Fatanu's side. Flip it. Run it the other way a little bit because teams are expecting to go left. Look, and frankly, look, outside zone in college and outside zone in the pros are two different things. Johnson's got to demonstrate if he's going to bounce those runs outside that he's got the foot speed to hit the edge. The only carry he got, he did not have the foot speed to get the edge. That could change. It was only one carry.
Yeah, but
nobody was getting that. There was 3 guys out there, Bob. Nobody was getting that edge.
Dude, and if he cut that shit, Quincy Williams was murdering him and his family. Like, if he cut it back up.
Yeah, but
I think Caleb Johnson's got the speed. I really do. I think he has a speed, guys. I think the one run that he was given, nobody had a chance.
Yeah, but aside from the Amazon stat, I mean, bottom line is foot speed, straight line. He's the slowest of the 3. He just is. I mean, and 40 matters to the running back. I've been saying that before.
I'll be honest.
What's the Amazon stat?
The one where Trent mentions where he got clocked going so fast that next level.
He had like 20.46 mile an hour on the carry from Iowa last year,
which is crazy.
Yeah, but that 40 burst that's important for a running back, and none of our 3 running backs are particularly fast. By the way,
I was going to say Gamble didn't look fast at all either. He looked very hesitant, like he didn't have explosion either.
Jones the fastest of the 3, and he's also a 4.5 40 guy. We need a 4.3 guy. We need a 4.4 guy. That's what we need.
You mean Jarquez Hunter, Trent?
Listen, I was okay with picking up like Bashil Tootin late in the draft. I liked him. I like that kid.
Jacksonville liked him so much they traded Tank Bigsby, which I am shocked.
Yeah.
I do not understand how you trade a running back like Tank Bigsby. They are sold on Tootin. They are sold.
I think Philly traded for him. Philly saw a depth piece who was losing his spot they can use and said, here's a couple bullshit picks. Give them to me. Howie Roseman's in his bag, fellas.
I think too. I'll say this: Jadon Blue, I'd have taken that kid in a fucking heartbeat too. He's Kenneth Gainwell on steroids.
Very.
I would have taken. I
don't care how small he is. That kid ran a fucking 4.26 on his pro day.
I understand. He weighs 84 pounds.
He's 195, roughly 190. What is he? 195.
He's like 165. Hold on.
No.
Jaden Blue's not that small.
No, he's like 192 or something.
He's listed at 84 pounds.
I said 185.
196.
I said 190. Okay. I said 190, 185. I thought he was a little slight.
There's a reason he fell, though. I mean,
he wasn't the feature back in Texas. He had a high fumble rate. Yes, he did have a high fumble rate.
Personally, I think the guy I wish we'd taken is in Cleveland. I would have liked to have Dylan Sampson. The guy I really wanted was Damian Martinez because I think he's both. He's a mid 4.4 big bruising back. I think he would have fit our scheme a little better.
He didn't run a 4.4 in the 40.
Yeah, not low 4.4. He was a 4.4 guy though. Hold on. Damian Martinez 40. I want to say it was like a 4.46. They got him at 4.51, and at his pro day he was like 4.48. So
the Damian Martinez from Miami, right?
Yeah,
4.4.
I didn't think he was that fast.
Yeah, I mean, he was 4.51 at the combine. He ran a little faster at the pro day.
I actually like DJ Giddens, the kid out of Kansas State. I liked him.
There's a lot of people that really liked him too.
Yeah, he's mired behind Jonathan Taylor, though. He'll be lucky to get. I mean, unless Taylor gets hurt,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting.
All right, let's talk about Seattle.
All right, so what do you think we can change to actually come out a little bit better? Like, what can we fix between now and the Seattle game?
Offensive
line,
game plan.
defensive line. I mean,
I'll go first. I'll go first and be done with it. I think the offensive game plan was fine last week. I think it'll be fine this week. I think there's a better defensive coordinator with the worst team on paper that we're playing this week. But again, I thought that the overall game plan was pretty darn good. Arthur Smith was graded very highly this week. So I think if he just kind of builds off of that, offensive line, like I had said, we're not going to see a front seven like that for a long time till, I mean, I already ruled out Buffalo in the comment section. So what, Baltimore maybe? Green Bay? So there is that. And then obviously I know Minnesota's looked really good, but Brian Flores effect, in my opinion. I don't think on paper their front seven's all that. But yeah, I would say, hopefully the trenches can improve, and hopefully Ramsey's clouding over JSN, because frankly, that's the only receiving weapon I thought they had. Cooper Kupp just isn't it. They don't really have a good tight end. Barner's okay. Arroyo's just okay. Their running backs, I think Kenneth Walker's approaching like career backup territory, Dalvin Cook territory for him. Charbonnet's okay, so that's all I got. And I don't think Darnold looked very good either. So
yeah, I disagree on Kenneth Walker. I think he's got plenty in the tank. They're just not using him right.
He's got plenty in the tank. He just has bad vision too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see him more in the passing game. I think they really lose out by not getting him outside.
I can actually agree with that.
Yeah, Seattle should be a game where we should be favored. We should be able to put some pieces together.
I think we're minus 4.5.
Yeah, the things that didn't go well against the Jets should be things that aren't as much of an issue. Bob talked about the defensive line being more of an interior group than edge rusher group. You would like to think Falatoni and Broderick Jones play a little bit better in this game. I think that the run game, I don't know if you're fixing the run game in this one, though, because the interior being the strength of that defense, that's going to be a really interesting piece to watch. That's probably going to be the thing that's going to be the most interesting thing to watch if you're trying to actually analyze this team instead of just, hoping for a victory. Can we actually move the pile against this interior of Seattle? That's going to be a piece of the game plan we need to see happen, because the secondary of Seattle, we should be able to get guys like Calvin Austin, like Roman Wilson. DK Metcalf should have a fucking field day. Like, their secondary is not very good. Tariq Woolen isn't the same guy he was as a rookie. He's just not. He's long, lanky, but there's a reason that guy fell in the draft. I think we should be able to fix a lot of the things outside of this. This run game is going to be really, really interesting to me. So if you're a fan and you want to hope for something to go really right in this game, it shouldn't be the pass protection. It should be we need to really establish this run, in my opinion.
Well, the one thing I'll say, I do think they're going to have a plan for DK. I think there's hard feelings there on both sides, and I think he will want to have a big game, but I think they will give Tariq Woolen plenty of help. I like Devin Witherspoon. I think he's underrated. So I like their corners. The problem for Seattle is going to be, in my opinion, is this is where the outside zone run can really work. So we may see a little more of Caleb Johnson. I do think Jalen will have a nice game here. I think the little pop passes to the running backs, and I think the tight ends will be huge in this game. Pat Fryer and Jonnu Smith should eat.
You nailed it. I was just going to mention tight ends. Yeah, you nailed it. Should be a good game for the tight ends. I agree with Sid P. Darnold is not a very good player under pressure. We saw it last year when he finally started to get pressure in the playoffs, or when Minnesota rarely did it. Let's see.
I would say Queen early and often.
I agree. I also liked your
Mhm.
point about the wide zone should be good. Shit, I missed one of your points. I knew one of your points. I just kind of lost it in my head. Corners. Yes, corner room's pretty good. I also like their safety room. I think Julian Love is a really good player. Ernest
Kobe
Jones.
Bryant looked good.
Yes, Kobe Bryant. But I think he's more their slot, right? Like their nickel.
They played him at safety most of the game against San Francisco, which I was really surprised they did not get Imanwari on the field as much as I think they should. When that happens, and I'm hoping they will discover that 3 or 4 games from now, when that happens, that defense will change. Imanwari is the real deal. He's the
Hey, Bob, I hate
still
to
think he's the
tell
best.
you, I hate to tell you about Imanwari, mate. Trent, do you want to tell him or do I have to?
Go for it, Colin.
There's only one Derwin James that comes out of generation, and that already happened about 7 years ago. So I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to tell you about Imanwari, bro.
Imanwari is Kyle Hamilton with speed.
Stop.
Okay.
He is a terrible tackler with his head goes like this, and he's not a very good cover and man. So I don't know what Kyle Hamilton you watch.
He's a safety, and Kyle Hamilton is not good at man. He's slow as fuck.
Slow as fuck is crazy. He's got incredible range. He's got incredible range.
Kyle Hamilton dropped in the draft because he ran a 4.6 40.
But have you seen his range in his 4 years in the NFL?
I watched him at Notre Dame for 3 years. I've seen him in the NFL.
I watched him at Notre Dame too.
He's a good player, and he's turned himself into a very good player. It doesn't change the fact that he's slow. He's not fast, but he's smart. That was always the strength of his game. Imanwari is Hamilton with speed. I'm telling you, watch Imanwari is a special player. Seattle's going to figure it out. He's going to figure it out. And then that's Cam Chancellor. That's that kind of guy, but bigger, faster, stronger.
All right, we'll check back. I'm excited because I have my opinions, you have yours, and clearly they're not similar. So
he's got talent, but he's got a ways to go before he gets into that conversation. Bob.
He's an NFL player, Trent. He better have fucking talent.
I mean, he's got some special traits. We'll
he
does.
That way.
Special traits. But yeah, sure. That's what I'm saying. But he's got some learning to do before he gets in the Kyle Hamilton conversation. He's not nearly as smart as Hamilton. He doesn't read the game the way.
No.
Hamilton diagnoses a play from the safety position.
Range.
Yes.
Hamilton's range to come from buttfuck Kenny Picketttville all the way to kill Khalil Shakir when Josh Allen's throwing ropes is what is range, mates. I don't care what your 40 time is. If you have range like that, there's nothing you could do. It's like Minka. Minka in his prime had range. Range. You're in a 4.53, but he has fucking range.
Yeah. We can't make it through one podcast without Connor Hayward being involved. I swear.
Let me rephrase. You have to be either talented or a nepo baby to be in the NFL. Sorry, Sid. You got me. You're right.
If you watch Steelers Sanctuary, you know one of my favorite things is to say, "Hey, the hot dog vendor could play better." Congratulations, the hot dog vendor is on the team.
All right, we've gone pretty long on this thing. You guys got anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this thing up?
No, tomorrow night, Fantasy Unfocused, our first actual episode besides the draft, will be on tonight. Normally, we're going to be on Thursdays, but the schedule's kind of wonky this week. I'm going to be in Alabama for a wedding. Trey can't go Thursday. Dave can't go Friday. So, we're just going to work it out this week. So bear with us on the schedule on the Sanctuary side. I'm really looking forward to see what they do against Seattle because I thought they were competent but bad. I want to see what happens when good and competent come together. Yes.
Colin, will you be able to come on tomorrow?
That I thought it was Thursdays too. I don't know yet. Wednesdays are a pretty busy night for me. Just a few different things going on. So I'll text you probably tomorrow, Trent, during the workday or something. So
yep.
But anyway, even though I won't be able to talk about it, if not, let them know that I won and Dave lost. So
You were the fucking dude. You were the high scorer of the league. Me and Corb had a pretty fucking high one, but man, you got me.
yeah, no, I by like 17 points, so I'll take it.
You really,
I had a
yeah.
week.
I just
It
like
helps.
to point
It
out.
helps when you have Josh Allen.
I just like to point out I started Xavier Worthy, got 0 points, and still won my game by 20 points.
Who'd you play? That 6 rings guy?
Yeah, Jeff, who'll be on
What's
tomorrow.
up?
He started out, he was kicking my ass, but his guys like did nothing.
Yeah, Dave started kicking my ass quick, and then like here comes Joshua Allen.
Joshua Allen took that game over for you, buddy.
He had something to say. And then Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson sealed it with like a combined 34. So that was cool. But anyway, all right, fellas.
All right.
It was good talking.
Yep. Thank you guys for coming on. Of course, Bob, thanks for joining us. For everybody watching, like, share, subscribe. We're going to get this thing back to being a more regular every Tuesday thing again, Colin. We'll be debriefing some games, diving into some more film. Thanks for joining us. As always, have a good one until next time.
Ain't nothing over till it's over.
What's that from, the 80s?
It's probably in the 70s.
This is disappointing as hell.
Now what the fuck are we supposed to do?
Yo, come back now, you hear?
Probably worth the Google.
Saw that coming.